Coming through.
Hi there, welcome to another show here at the Vocal Mothership. This is the PickleBall Show with Curtis Reese. I'm your host. Hope you're staying cool out there today on these courts, tennis and pickleball courts. My guest today is a young man by the name of Corbin Gapski.
Yes, sir.
With a G. And he is a unique individual, and he's a Diadem rep. I'm gonna let him give you a little bio here in a second. But Corbin, thanks for coming. I'm sure you thought it was crazy when I said I'm actually having a show here, and I'd like to have you on it. But you're here.
Couldn't think of anyone better to do this with, by the way. I mean, the best conversationalist out there. I mean, you also have Craig Bell on the show.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, people are going to absolutely love that duo. But holy cow. Thanks for having me, by the way.
No, you're welcome. Well, you'll be a mainstay. You'll be around for a while. I told this young man about 4 or 5 months ago, I think we met, and I was kind of on the fence about going to Diadem because I've been with Wilson for so long for tennis and now pickleball. And his response to me was, when I'm trying to reschedule, he goes, "Let's not waste time. Let's meet." And I'm like, I know I'm getting old because I used to be like that. I'm still like that, right? So you made an impression on me, and I know I told you I'm going to make an impact on the Dallas pickleball scene, and we are almost there.
Yes.
So I'm glad you're here. So let's get down to it, man. Talk to me a little about your family, where you're from and all that stuff.
Oh, boy. So it's a far away from Dallas, but I'm from Syracuse, New York, which is right near Canada, about 2 hours away, the Toronto border right there. Born and raised there, and then I went down to Fairleigh Dickinson, northern New Jersey, for college.
Wow.
Then I went to the University of Cincinnati for graduate school.
Wow.
Went down to Fort Lauderdale, Houston, and then now here, Dallas. But again, all those things would not be possible without my family. They've supported me throughout the whole entire process.
Yeah.
Come from a farming family. My father was a dairy farmer.
Really?
So the hard work, the grit, that comes from that right there.
I got to ask you real quick. What was the weirdest thing you did? Did you work the farm?
No.
You didn't?
I did not work the farm. So my father grew up as a dairy farmer.
Okay.
However, me, I had to actually plow snow with him. Okay.
Okay.
So and also we sold Christmas trees.
Oh.
Everything. Anything you could think of to be manual labor, that was the hard work. So,
Any siblings or your parents?
I got an older sister. To describe that real fast, she got the looks, I got the personality. It's just so absolutely beautiful. But then I'm just a lot of fun to be around. But she recently just had kids, and I guess, and you have kids.
Yeah.
Kids soften people up. They make them nicer. So now she's got the looks and she's got the personality. So I got pickleball now. So she doesn't have that. So I got that going for me.
Don't let her use those on the kids, all right?
No, absolutely not. No, this is all about just high-fiving kids.
So this leads to another question. What's a nice award that you got when you, like maybe high school, maybe college, anything that stands out in your mind, do you think that really means the most to you thus far?
That's a good question. And it goes all the way back to when I was in my undergraduate studies. My background is actually baseball. I played college baseball, and unfortunately, I got cut from the team in the middle of college, sophomore year. And I immediately knew, like, okay, if baseball is not going to be the route for me, or sports, we all hope to be professional athletes, then I got to get to work. So I went over to the athletic department at Fairleigh Dickinson University, and I started volunteering, just finding ways to boost up the resume and just make sure I can impact an athletic department or a sports team. Because I wanted to work in sports. And at the end of my junior year, they gave me an award of just being like the outstanding volunteer.
That's great.
But I can't thank the athletic department back at Fairleigh Dickinson enough, because they allowed me to do everything from athletic communications. They gave me my own sports show called Catching Up with Corbin. Sweet. It was a lot of fun. But the real kicker is I was also the school's mascot as well.
Really?
Oh, yes. So one of the best jobs. I mean, working with Diadem is a lot of fun. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
but I tell you what, the days of being a mascot, second to none. Second to none being a mascot.
What was the mascot?
It was a big blue horse, and I'm seeing your mind work right there. I was not the butt of a horse, so don't think it was a two-person horse. It was a one-man show here, all decked out. So,
well, I was for the Collin County Express, which is junior college, then Eastfield Harvester, and then a Southeastern Savage, Southeastern Oklahoma. Now they're called the Storm. But anyway, I get the quirky names and all those. Well, this leads me to my next question would be, how did you really when and how did you figure out pickleball was like your thing? When did you figure that out?
Well, when I started visiting my accounts, when they said like, "Hey, are you guys getting into pickleball?" And then I call up my boss and I go like, "Hey, are we making pickleball gear?" And he goes, "Yes, we are." And he goes, "Wait till you come back to Fort Lauderdale where Diadem's based on, and we'll show you what we got." And they showed me these beautiful paddles.
What year was this?
This was at the end of 2020.
Wow.
Diadem launched pickleball in January of 2021, like a soft launch. So I joined Diadem in July of 2020. And then, at that time, we only had a tennis line. And then they moved me out to Houston, Texas in September of 2020. And then at the end of 2020, I'm like, man, are we going to get into pickleball? And they go, wait till you see what we got.
Wow.
And we have not looked back from there. It's just been incredible. Just the proactiveness and just the vision that they have, because I mean, I'm not going to bash any brand or any person, but when I see paddles out there, I'm like, okay, that's your paddle. But then when I look at ours, I know I'm biased, but I'm like, they just did an incredible job from inside out. It's like, wow, they went above and beyond.
Wow.
So that's just really cool about that. I mean, like our paddle or not our paddle's not for everyone. We'll talk about that. However, when you just see them, you're like, this is incredible. And it makes you proud to be on that team.
I was like that too. When you first saw me and you asked me if I would take you sponsored me, basically, my sponsor. So, and I do appreciate that.
Of course.
So you like the culture there at Diadem?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible because you try to come up with good ideas yourself, and they already made that. They're already into production. Like, hey, how about we try this? We're already doing it. Yeah. Like we're already there, and it's like there's people out there like that.
Yes.
Co-founders Evan, AJ, Michael back there. Those guys are just like in the trenches there, building this giant, and it's just incredible.
Are they from Florida too? Are they Floridians or what?
No, I believe AJ. He is in California. He's one of the co-founders. I think he's from California. Evan is way up there, Idaho or Iowa. I mean, I'm from the Northeast, so I really don't know that area, but I believe it's Idaho. Okay. So don't quote me on that. And then Michael he's from northern Florida, like Orlando area.
Okay. But, wow, that's like all different points.
All over the place there. But I mean, they all have one thing in common is a work ethic. I mean, these guys grind. And when you see that's your co-founder and that's who you're in the trenches with, going harder than you are, then you're like, wow.
It feels good, man.
You better not take a day off because there's so much opportunity. And I feel like the time is now to really
sense of urgency.
On that. Sense of urgency, yeah. Like you can waste that time, and that could cost you. It's all about timing. If I didn't send that text to say like, "Hey, gotta do this now," you've already been gone.
That's how you got me.
I mean, that's the God's honest truth right there.
I gotta be honest with you. I was a little skeptical, but then I realized, all right, well, this is my guy. So let's lead into that. Let's talk about what do you have here today for us with regards to diet, and what'd you bring?
Yeah, I mean, for the pickleball show, I got to come with the best.
Yeah.
I mean, we got our brand new paddle coming out. It's called the Warrior Edge.
Yeah.
Okay. And this thing is just absolutely just being heard by anywhere and anyone. And we really haven't teased that much about it. And everyone's asking me about it. Like, hey, do you have the edge with you? And I've been showing people, and I want to make sure that people saw this on here. So this is the Warrior Edge, and we made this from our first two paddles that we put into production. So this is going to be an 8-ounce, 16-millimeter paddle. A really popular thing that people are looking for right now is an etch surface.
Etch surface.
You're going to see that type of surface out there because we also have a grit paint on our paddles. But on this Warrior Edge, you're going to have an etch surface. Really going to give you, grab that bad boy. I mean, that's what you got to do about that. But the really cool thing about that I love is you got an aerodynamic edge guard along the side there as well.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to allow you to be faster resets. Going to be easier to swing through the air. Super durable paddle. So you're going to have some fun with that, Curtis. So obviously I want to make sure you saw that. But how did we get there? How did we get there? I mean, when we started pickleball in January 2021, we came out with the Icon paddles. Yeah. I'm absolutely just obsessed with these paddles. This is the paddle I play with. It's got something called Spin RP coating on here. So obviously when you feel paddles, you feel like the etch surface, which a lot of people are seeing nowadays. You see your grip paint on this Warrior that we're going to talk about, but this has got something called Spin RP coating. So feel that one because I got an extra one here that I'll feel.
Oh, wow. This one's a little softer kind of.
Yeah, so it's more like a tacky coating on there. It's going to more grip the ball rather than bite the ball. And absolutely my favorite thing about it is the replaceable bumper guards along the side.
Yeah.
So how many newbie nights do I go to at Chicken and Pickle? It's one of my favorite places to go to. A lot of fun. We got
Grand Prairie.
Yes. And they're going to build another one in Grapevine. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But I go to these newbie nights and these people come with no paddles or like a beginner paddle. That thing is just beat the heck. That thing is just beat up. They're smashing on the ground.
Because they're using it, right? What's it called again? Newbie night?
Newbie nights at Chicken and Pickle. They usually do it on Monday nights. I'll sponsor those events, make sure I go out there with paddles, introducing people to a brand known as Diadem, because they really don't know many brands out there. So make a good first impression. Be like, hey, we're the brand that wants to go out and meet you, try our paddles, and allow you to learn about paddles. You don't have to play with ours, but try it tonight.
Yeah.
So at those newbie nights, they'll come with a beat up paddle or no paddle. And I'll just show like, hey, it's kind of like the wheels in your car.
Yeah.
You want to buy a cheaper wheel or cheaper paddle, have to replace them constantly, or would you rather buy something like this from us where you can customize it, put pink or red, white, and blue for the 4th of July? Yeah. Or, do you want to just make sure you have a nice clean edge guard that's protecting your paddle?
Nice.
So the Icons came out in January 21, and those have a lot of potential of just being around for a very long time.
So the Icon, the Edge, now what's the next one you got there?
Well, so we started with the Icon, power and spin. A lot of people are looking for a thick paddle because that gives them feel and control. So we came out with the Warrior paddle. I'm jumping a little bit ahead here because this is the Teal Warrior. So we're based out of Miami. You saw that Miami Vice icon there. So when you think of Warrior, though, you're thinking tough. You're thinking mean. So in November of 2021, we came out with the Red Warrior.
Those are good,
and man, these guys just took over.
Those things pop.
I mean, couldn't be more proud of this paddle, going to events and just seeing people out there with their Red Warrior. And I would call them out. Like, you are one tough warrior out there. I love this paddle.
They're crazy,
so
man.
They came out with this in November of 2021.
Yeah, I feel that.
Just in time for the holidays, obviously. So people were getting that for their loved ones, and they're calling us like, is our warrior going to be here in time for the holidays? I got this for my spouse. And we're like, we'll get them to you. And they met every single delivery that they said we'll get them before the holidays. So that was a good Christmas tree present or just a holiday gift period. And then Diadem, our main color is teal. So they came out with the Teal War a couple months ago, and I tell people, hey, you got the red, you got to have the teal. Match your mood to your paddle. You gotta have some fun with it. So.
Where's my T-Bar M paddle at?
Oh, I already made that for you, by the way. I sent that picture of you, and that thing looked nice because
I want to bring it here.
Well, my favorite color is purple, and when I saw
that's fine.
I was like, So I already made that design for you. Yeah. I mean, I got to get one made.
I'm holding it. I understand. So, well, what else does Diadem do? Do they just do pickleball, or do they do tennis, or what do they do?
Yeah, so actually the company started in 2015 with a string known as Solstice Power. This is the pickleball show, so we're going to talk pickleball today.
That's all right.
But I mean, again, that string in 2015, it wasn't just some synthetic gut string that, let's just get something inexpensive out to the market. Let's just get our hat in the ring. They made a star-shaped string that just gave you the most bite that you'll ever get into a tennis ball. And it was just, again, I didn't know Diadem back then, 2015. I didn't know Evan, didn't know AJ, didn't know Michael, didn't know any of those guys. But when I just saw immediately like, oh, this is something that tennis market has never seen before. Those guys, again, they hustled. They went to tournaments all over the country and just handed that teal colored string out to people. And I still see people today in 2022 that say, man, I remember when someone from your company was just running around handing out strings to people. I'm like, yeah, that was one of the co-founders of Diadem, like back in the day. So you just hear about the foundations they've laid. Yeah. Anyways, I'm giving them way too many plugs. I mean, gosh, way too nice to these guys. But they came out with rackets in 2018, tennis balls in 2019. That was a big move for Diadem. I mean, because again, there's a tennis ball shortage. Again, this is the pickleball show, but there was a tennis ball shortage in 2020. And I mean, my job, you know me, Curtis.
Yeah.
I'm banging the phone. I'm texting people, bothering them. There's a lot of people that were watching this and be like, oh, I know that Corbin. He's bothered me a lot of times.
I'll just get it. My God.
And I'll be like, just give me a shot. Just let me get our tennis balls in there. But then when the ball shortage happened, they couldn't get balls from company X or company Y. They go, hey, do you still have tennis balls? I'm like, yeah.
Like, fuck no, we don't anymore.
No balls for you. So I got the balls out. We got no balls. We had the balls. We got them out to people. And then from there, you build that relationship. Hey, let's just say, Curtis, okay, the balls are good, right? Yeah. Try out our string. Try out our rackets. But now people, like a lot of directors of a director of racket sports.
They are now, yeah.
That's their new titles, basically.
Exactly.
They a lot of
I said
them
that 2 years ago. I said the EME director.
I remember you quoted that, even though I didn't know you 2 years ago. I know you were the one that came up with that title. So kudos to you, sir.
It was, yeah.
But anyways, now these directors of racket sports, they more have a tennis background, which is totally fine,
Yeah.
but they really don't know the pickleball space. And that's where Dynam, I think, saw the opportunity with pickleball, where they're like, oh, not a lot of people know about pickleball yet, where we could really make something that is just killer for them. We prove that, we build that trust, and then we work the tennis in there as well.
Let's touch on that real quick.
Sure.
This will be a topic as we progress.
Okay.
What feedback objectively, obviously no names need to be said, but what's consistently you heard a year ago when you approached these directors about pickleball? What was their sense? Because I've been through a lot of battles with regards to that, getting pickleball here in Dallas, which is cool. But what is there like any like response where they really standoffish, or were they kind of like, did they embrace you, or did they about face you? That means they turn away from you, or did they say, come on, I'd like to hear about maybe 2 years ago?
Well, I don't think anyone's ever said, come on and bring it in. I want to see this stuff. It's never like that. It's more like, yeah, swing by, show me what you got.
Yeah, what you got.
I mean, I'm not gonna say names, not even gonna say cities. I get it. But I mean, there's a city here in Texas that's pretty big, and every single meeting I sat in, they're like, no, not really got any pickleball going on. And I just recently went there, and now pickleball is really starting to take off. And it's cool when you sit in those meetings, because you never do the, I told you that pickleball was going to be big. You never do that to someone. You never show them you did wrong. Yeah. I told them, like, this is going to be big.
I know.
But when you go to that city now and you see the growth in pickleball, and you get them to see, you see their eyes pop, like, wow. I have so many people that are coming out. I'm seeing members for the first time I haven't seen in years.
Exactly.
Man, Johnny was down for the count. The guy couldn't move. Now he's looking and playing doubles pickleball. I'm like, that's it right there. And you want to have that high five moment. I'm like, isn't this awesome?
Dude. Feels good.
And
man.
Hey, by the way, and I say Director A, by the way, let me show you the brand new thing we got coming out. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
When that last meeting I had with them, when I was showing the pals, they're like,
exactly. Oh, I know.
But so it's really cool how the meetings have progressed, and I absolutely. So again, the biggest objection to answer your question, I never answer a question short. I'm very long-winded. They'll just be like, yeah, we got some people that maybe hit around a little bit.
Hit around a little bit, yeah.
Then you go back to that same place, and now all their courts are filled up.
Exactly.
You're like, come on. What's next?
When I first started, almost 3.5 years ago, a program at a local place here. I had two types of people that came and saw me. Number one, I play at my other house in the lake or at the beach. I know what I'm doing. Oh, okay. And then the second person I came, that player I'd come into contact with, I pay X amount. I've already paid X amount. This should be free to me.
Oy.
So it was viewed as an amenity sport, and I get that, but I never saw it as an amenity sport. I saw it as I see it now as a lifelong longevity for exercise and social aspect and being competitive with friends, and then ultimately take it to the next level. But I like that. I hear that when they just put we're okay for now. That's kind of I love to ask that question. My next question is going to be, what is your worst pickleball experience ever this far? It could be a sales job. It could be on the court. What is the thing that made you the most uncomfortable doing pickleball?
Well, again, my background is baseball.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a big guy, so I can see you throwing the ball pretty hard, man.
Well, I couldn't do that either.
Whatever.
Hey, I told you I got cut on the team. I mean, it was college ball, so I mean, to play college baseball is an honor.
I get it.
But again, God gave me the gift of the gab. Yeah. I mean, I was meant to be in sales. I was meant to help build a brand. I'm not your athlete guy. And that's what I really enjoy being. A lot of people will be like, hey, are you a 5.0 pickleball player? I'm like, heck no. I'm here to show you the best pals in the world to make you a 5.0 player. That's what my role is. However, to answer your question, the worst experience, I was doing the newbie night, and obviously they're like, hey, Corbin, why don't you come out and play? I'm like, okay, you asked for it. Obviously wasn't wearing the right shoes, tripped and fell right over the net, right over the top bar. Kind of like that WWE wrestling. Because you get excited. It's like a kid in a candy shop. You just see that ball right up in there. Like, well, baseball, I could just smack this ball right now. And boom, boom. But hey, that's the past.
You remodeled the kitchen in front of a bunch of people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They were probably
I showed them
wasted too,
what
huh?
not to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, hey, newbie night. This is that first.
This is what you don't do.
This
That's
is
why I
what
did
you
that.
don't do. I am here to show you that. I could write a book on that. I could write a book on how not to play baseball, how not to play pickleball. So I think it'd be a bestseller.
That's not bad. Okay. I've got a million of them, but so moving on to this, I got to ask you, what's your favorite pickleball equipment? Obviously, it's Diadem, or what's your favorite paddle that you like to push and even hit the ball around with? Of all three of those,
it's going to be the Icon paddle again. So when I do get the opportunity to play, it is the Icon paddle because it's going to give you everything that you're looking for. So nice, dude. Just a well balanced paddle. The thing about Diadem is we don't mass produce our paddles, so the balance is just incredible. So the consistency in those paddles, what you're going to get from the paddle, you're going to get the power, you're going to get the pop off of it. You're going to get just a unique spin factor called the spin RP coating, the durability, and then the replaceable bumper guards. Because again, I'm in sales. That's the grind that it is. And when you put a paddle in someone's hands, again, we're a smaller brand. You're associated with that brand. So I know, especially that paddle right there, that Icon paddle, I've never seen someone be like, hey, this Icon paddle is broken, or hey, like this paddle doesn't work anymore. Like I'm been in it since January 2021. Now we're June of 2022. And I'm seeing those people at those events because I do a lot of dinks and drinks night, mixer nights, and I love going back to those facilities with that same first paddle.
Yeah.
I mean, I recommend people change out their paddles. However, they just call it their beast. They just call it.
Oh, so you're saying people, yeah, and this is something else I'm actually asking about. So people can buy, there's people that actually use more than one paddle?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I need to do that.
And again, the pickleball show is going to have first access look at this, and we're not going to talk about that today because I need a reason for you to invite me back.
Okay.
I mean, but we got something coming out where I don't care if you're Gearbox, Wilson, Selkirk, I don't care what brand you're playing with, you're going to get a Diadem because of what we got coming out in July of 2022. Wow. And because some people, Curtis, to answer your question, some people just want a paddle in their bag just to have it in their bag. Yeah. They just want to pull it out and be like, look what I got. And that's what we're coming out with in July of 2022. And again, we're gonna see it here first. I don't think we should show it to anyone until here. So it'll be cool to have them see it on the show.
Well, I think we basically covered all the stuff I wanted to do today, but this is just kind of an intro into the Diadem, the pickleball brand, which I'm now sponsored by. Thank you very much.
Of course.
And all my players, including Ren Miller, he's out there. He will be using those as well. Well, I'll tell you what. So, show me this little. What's this king thing?
Okay. So
you want to get your crown?
No, I'm not going to get the crown.
Okay.
Maybe next show I'll come in with the alter ego.
We might have kids in here or something. Scare the crap out of them.
But I want to talk about like my best experience in my role. Again,
go for it.
We got great pals, got great product, got good people that we sponsor, we work with, but like just how we build the relationship. So I was in South Florida and I was just about to move out to Houston, Texas for Diadem. Yeah, my buddy said, hey, let's go grab coffee. Just kind of like this. We're just sitting down here. And he's sitting down. He goes, so you're moving out to Texas, for a sports brand? I'm like, yeah. He goes, there's some big brands out there. Wilson, Babolat, Head, all these different brands, Selkirk, blah, 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 blah. Name them, X, Y, and Z. He goes, how are you going to stand out from everyone else? I'm just, again, I come from a father who's a farmer. So it's just blue collar, just grassroots, pull up your bootstraps and get the job done.
Yeah.
Period. However, that's what I said to him. Like, I don't know, just old school block and tackling. Just like pick up the phones. It's a worthless piece of plastic if you're not picking up and dialing it. So I'm just going to do that. He goes, well, he goes, Corbin, that's what everyone does. I'm like, okay, then I don't have an answer for you. So he goes, okay, well, think about how you're going to stand out.
Okay.
So this is about a month before I'm going to move. 2 weeks before I moved to Houston, he said, okay, Corbin, let me grab one more coffee with you. I'm like, we left our last coffee. I'm like, I don't have an answer for you, man.
Yeah.
He goes, remember when I asked you how you're going to stand out from the rest of the brands out there?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. He goes, here. Every time you finish up a meeting, give him one of these.
What is that? That's your little, oh yeah.
So it's got my face on it. So he runs a marketing company back in Fort Lauderdale, South Florida.
Yeah.
His name's Errol Chung. And he made this for me. He goes, every time you wrap up, just reach across the table and give him one of those. Give him a business card. That's fine. But give him one of those. So I show Evan, the co-founder of Diadem, that sticker. Yeah. And he goes, I got an idea. Every time, because everything ships out of Miami, South Florida. That's where our headquarters is based out of. And he goes, every time we ship out a box to Texas, we're going to put that darn sticker on
awesome,
there.
Man.
So people are going to see your face in every single shipment. So they think about you. They think about Diadem. They think about you delivering that package to them. It's just that personal touch.
The sticker's better looking than you are, though.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
I know. I know. I rely on that sticker a lot. I even use it as my LinkedIn picture. So people go, wow, good looking guy. And then they go, yay. But again,
cool.
But one of my mottos or one of my mantras is, are you better than you were yesterday?
Yeah.
Or how are you impacting the next generation? Mm-hmm. So again, mascot background.
Yeah.
Outgoing
you didn't
guy.
Tell me that last time. Look at this. This is cool.
Yeah. So we came out with this. So this is King Diadem.
That's cool, man.
So I mean, you ever remember like kids shows? Hey, what's our word of the day? You know, the word of the day is diadem, which means like a jeweled crown. Yeah. Okay. So what I like to do, and actually I did it today. Okay, and it was a King Diadem event at a summer camp. Mm-hmm. So what I did, I bought about 500 of the paper crowns that we used to get at Burger King. Mm-hmm. I gave each kid a paper crown. Gave him a crown, gave him a racket or gave him a paddle, whether it's a pickleball camp or a junior tennis camp. Yeah. Knighted each kid, making them part of Team Diadem.
Oh, that's cool.
We played a game with the Diadem rackets out there. So cool. We just had a blast with it. They got a sticker at the end because, again, you want to ask yourself, how are you impacting the next generation of pickleballers? How are you impacting the next generation of tennis players? And, you know, maybe back in the day, maybe years from now, a kid goes like, I remember this goofy guy came out with a king's cape and a king's crown out there, called himself King Diadem, taught us how to be a mascot, taught us some mascot dances, so cool. Gave me a darn sticker, and that's why I play tennis. That's why I play pickleball. Yeah. And again, it was Diadem that did that. You know, now they know what the word Diadem means. So it was educational as well. So I have a blast doing that. So, I mean, again, your Rolodex is probably, you know, endless with people that are pickleball directors or tennis directors. And I would love to go to their events, get those kids decked out in some Diadem crowns and swag, and just make sure we're touching those lives and just having fun. Hey.
Well, hey, look, how do people get in touch with you? Your phone number? You want to give that, or your
social security number?
No. Just your email address, or how your website. How do they get in touch with you?
Well, I mean, just go to diadempickleball.com or diademsports.com. I mean, my email is corbin.gapski at diademsports.com.
So, well, I think what I'm really feeling is maybe we do something in July or something in August if you want to come back, and we can look at that new stuff. And I got to tell you, I'm glad you came, and it
was a blast.
I really appreciate it. So this will conclude our show here at the Vocal Mothership. And as always, stay cool, be nice to everybody, and come on, let's pickle. See you. Coming through.